Hi, we're Dave and Erica, and this is our 1987 Hunter 23 named Resolute. We're going to show you how we raise and lower the mast. We prefer to do this after we've put her back in the water at the slip. Marina parking lots are never level and the wiggle on the trailer is awful. We're used to the movement on the water, so it's just easier. First, you need to remove the boom. We're not showing that part because likely yours is not attached the same way ours is. Make sure your main halyard, messenger line, and lazy jack lines, if you have them, are all secured to the mast. We use some small pieces of line to tie them to the mast. Make sure the bitter end of your jib halyard is secured firmly to the mast with the tack clasp about 2 feet above the jib pendant. We use a block and tackle connected to the jib halyard and the jib pendant. Snug that up tight, make sure the brake is set, then disconnect the forestay and move it clear of the bow. We use painter's tape to mark the turnbuckle positions on our shrouds to make it easier to retension when we put it back up. Loosen the turnbuckles on both upper and lower shrouds. Next, disconnect the lower shrouds and the backstay. Put the cotter rings back on so you don't lose the pins that hold them in place. The mast is now held in place with the upper shrouds and the jib halyard that's connected to the block and tackle at the bow. Loosen the bolt at the base of the mast, but don't remove it completely. We're ready to lower the mast. One person is at the bow to control the block and tackle, and the second is standing behind the mast. This person is not attempting to push or pull the mast, simply keeping it from swinging to either side as it's lowered. Good communication is essential here. As the mast is lowered, you'll see I pause a few times when he tells me to, so he can safely reposition his footing and continue to keep the mast centered as I lower it the rest of the way. Once you have the mast lowered completely, you can disconnect the block and tackle to get it out of the way. The person on the bow needs to remove the mast bolt while pressing down on it. Don't let go or the weight of the mast will flip it right over the back of the boat into the water. Work together to move the bottom of the mast into the cradle on the bow pulpit while watching all your rigging to make sure it's not hung up and getting bent or damaged while you move it. Once the mast is in place, secure all the rigging to the mast and the mast to the boat. Now you're ready to load her on the trailer. To raise the mast, you're going to reverse what you did to lower it. Get the mast moved back so the foot sits in its base and put the bolt back in. Secure it, but don't tighten it all the way. You'll do that after it's fully raised. Connect your block and tackle to the jib halyard and the jib pendant again. It will be let out pretty far to start. Reconnect your upper shrouds, but don't tighten the turnbuckles yet. Once again, you'll have one person on the bow controlling the block and tackle and one person in the cockpit to keep the mast steady as it's raised. You'll see he tells me when to pause so he can stay with the mast as I raise it. Keep an eye on your upper shroud connections while it's going up to make sure they aren't hung on anything and getting bent. Once the mast is fully upright, you can reconnect the forestay and lower shrouds before removing the block and tackle. Reconnect the backstay and retension your rigging. Tighten the mast bolt, put the boom and mainsail back on, and you're ready to go. We hope this video is helpful. Feel free to put questions in the comments.